Hi everyone. Today I have a very special guest with me, my dear friend and pulmonologist, Dr. Miti Shah. Today we are going to talk about her amazing transformation journey which she went through after facing numerous health issues during her 2 pregnancies. So Miti, welcome.
Thanks, Ashish, and glad to be here.
It's a must watch for all to be mothers or new mothers, and for those rest of us who do not have to go through the pains of pregnancy. It is a very strong reminder of the power of food. So Miti, thank you once again for agreeing to speak and sharing your experiences.
Very glad to be here, Ashish. Thank you. And I'm going to share some insights on what I went through in my difficult times and what better we can do in the future. It's not rocket science or it's not magnanimous planning. It's just giving 10 to 15 minutes a day for some wonderful outcomes which can make life pleasant for everybody.
Absolutely. That's great to hear, Miti. With that, let's get into it. Before we start, I think it will be very useful for people to get to know a little bit more about you. I know you are a doctor, you are a mother of 2 kids, but tell us a little bit more about how your day is, how your routine is, so people get a sense of how you went about this.
Yes, I'm a practicing chest physician and a pulmonologist. I have 2 clinics and I also visit 7 to 10 hospitals on a day-to-day basis. A lot of time is spent in the car, running from one place to the other. Also, I have 2 kids, age 5 and 7, and my husband is also a doctor.
And you stay in a joint family also.
Yes, absolutely.
So a fairly full plate, busy personal, professional life, hectic schedule of a doctor, kids at home, and on top of that, health issues must have been tough. So Meeti, tell us, when did these health problems begin to occur for you?
Right after we got married, after a couple of years, I started gaining weight, and there was absolutely no time for any exercise or any kind of fitness schedule. And I also had difficulty conceiving, and eventually had to resort to IVF to have my kids.
Right. Infertility is actually a very, very big problem today because of lifestyle as well as food.
Yes, absolutely, Ashish. It's a big problem, and I went through 2 IVF pregnancies in a span of 3 years, and I put on 12 kgs in the first pregnancy, 13 in the other. So I was 25 kgs up in both my pregnancies, and I reached 95 kgs,
Oh, wow.
which is 30 kgs over and above my usual weight.
So you did not lose weight after your first pregnancy?
No, not at all. Due to the wrong eating, due to the misunderstandings, and due to the stress associated with the weight, I could not lose any weight.
Really, thank you so much, Niti, for sharing candidly. I'm sure this extra weight would have caused a number of other health problems for you as well.
Yes, I suffered through a lot of them. I had something called plantar fasciitis, which is, constant heel pain because of the weight. There was indigestion, coughing, gastric issues. There was fatigue, mental stress, exhaustion, not feeling energetic, feeling tired, and chronically stressed all throughout the day. And basically, I had lost the zing in life, lost the energy, lost the spark to look good or function well.
I am so glad, Meeti, that we are having this discussion today, because whoever is suffering from these kind of issues, we are here to tell them that there are much better natural ways to manage our body through these difficult phases. So tell us, Meeti, when did things start to change for you? Like, what was the trigger?
When my daughter was 2 years old, I decided that, it can't go on like this with the low energy, constant fatigue, not able to sleep well, etc. So I said, come on, let's start, progressively. So I started with yoga. Then I added gym to the routine. I added daily walks. It went on like this for almost 9 months, from April 2024 to December 2024.
So 2024 was the year when you
Yes,
took control. And so this must have helped.
It did help, but just marginally. I lost hardly 1.5 to 2 kgs in a span of 9 months to 10 months.
Really?
By
That's it?
doing everything possible physically, towards weight loss and towards getting fitter. But there was hardly any noticeable difference.
That's very surprising. Even with 9 months of all this hard work, it had such little impact on your body.
Yes, it was surprising for me also. So that's when I entered the kitchen. And
What do you mean entered the kitchen? Was it the first time for you?
yes, privileged to not cook for last 36 years, but It was the need of the hour, and I had to understand what I was eating. So I entered the kitchen. I started understanding what is being made, and I realized that Indian diet is predominantly carb-rich diet made up of lot of roti and rice, very little vegetables, and very minimal protein, quite insufficient for the day-to-day needs of the person.
So then what was the operation you did in the kitchen?
Yeah, so what I did was I reduced the portion of carbs in the diet and added proteins, added more vegetables, added curd in each and every meal, not just one single meal. And that's when the change started happening.
Great. So now, Miti, with the food also thrown into the mix, and I assume you continued your workout routine, did things change for you?
Yes, very much. And finally, I started getting the move which I had been hoping for and working for. And I started losing weight at a steady pace. From Jan 2025 to Feb 26, I lost 25 kgs, losing almost 1 to 2 kgs a month.
That's really amazing.
At a very constant, slow, and sustainable pace. I went from 3XL to a medium. The clothes which I used to wear pre-pregnancy started fitting me again, and I started feeling fantastic.
That's so amazing to hear that after doing all the workout and everything, food is what created such a big impact. Guys, this is the key message of this whole discussion, that food has so much power, much more than any medicine can also give to your body. And I'm sure, Miti, that with this transformation, you must have experienced benefits in your other health issues you were facing earlier, right?
Yes, very much. I, of course, continued my physical exercises, my gym, walk, and yoga.
Absolutely.
But my ankle pain disappeared. No fatigue at all. Very energetic. My periods became regular after 8 years.
Wow.
I never felt too hungry. I never did stress eating after that. The meals were all balanced, well paced, and I started feeling great.
See, this is a doctor with a full-blown busy lifestyle, having suffered these health issues during pregnancy and then going through this transformation. Just imagine what a normal person with much lesser constraints in life can achieve if we were to truly harness the power of food. So now, after hearing about this amazing transformation, I'm sure, Miti, everyone is itching to find what is it that you exactly change in your diet. So let's go diet by diet, give everyone a flavor of what is it that you did. Let's start with breakfast.
Sure. So I had no nutritionist or dietitian. I myself, engineered my food. Breakfast used to have one protein source on a daily basis every day, 365 days. So it could either be a pulse, a rajma, or a chole, or black beans, black chana, moong, or I would have paneer, tofu, or soya. So normally these things are not very palatable, not a part of the normal Indian diet. But little effort in incorporating them in very, very fancy ways can really improve your diet. Even a simple Indian item like a poha can be made much more nutritious by adding some vegetables, adding some paneer, adding some groundnuts to it, and reducing the amount of poha. Even an idli can be made as saute idli with some vegetables along with it, some sauces, and just adding a protein and a vegetable sauce in every breakfast.
So basically, you made breakfast really nutritious and an important meal.
Yes, breakfast should not be very high in carbs, should have protein, should have vegetables. And sometimes we go to 5 stars also. We directly go to the parathas and puris and other fried items like Vedu Vada. But if we see, there are a lot of fresh salad counters that are there, lot of chilas which are available, exotic fresh breads which are made right in front of us. So, we should always make a conscious attempt to even try those, taste those, and incorporate into the breakfast. The change is massive.
So breakfast became nutritious for you, Miti. So after that, let's move to the mid-morning 11 a.m. snack. What did you have for snack?
So I hardly felt hungry during the mid-morning snack after eating a protein with breakfast. The protein is what makes us feel fuller for much longer and makes us feel satisfied, makes the cravings go away, makes us feel less irritable in our day-to-day functioning. If I would feel hungry, I would have a fruit or some yogurt or some salad as a mid-morning snack.
So basically, a healthy full breakfast reduces cravings for mid-morning meal, and if there are some cravings, then you can have these light snacks. So with the morning slot out of the way, what about lunch, Miti? What did you change for lunch?
Not much effort required for lunch, just the normal food, reducing the amount of rotis from 3 or 4 to 1 and adding more dal, more veggies, maybe the same morning pulses, adding curd sometimes chutneys, making it quite wholesome and tasty.
But did it not make you feel hungry sooner if you reduce the number of rotis?
No, not at all, because proportionately the vegetables and the dal and the pulses came up, and that made me full for in fact much longer.
So now let's come to the most sinful part of the day, the 4-5 p.m. evening snack. What about that?
Honestly, didn't feel very hungry at that point of time. I used to have my tea or coffee at that time, and along with that, some nuts, some snacks like murmura or makhana. That too only if required, or a fruit if I have not had it in the morning.
Got it. So again, keeping snack light, and it was possible for you because you had a full lunch which kept you full for longer.
Yes.
Great.
Correct.
Sounds easy. Doesn't sound that difficult. I think the key so far that I'm taking away is to have a very solid breakfast and lunch, which automatically reduces your need for mid-meal snacks.
Yes, very much.
So finally, what about dinner? Anything that you did with dinner, or was that also normal as lunch?
Dinner was the favorite meal of my day, which I used to really look forward to. I always did my preparations maximum for dinner because I generally like to make exotic items. So I used to make burrito bowls, I used to make wholesome chilas, I used to make pav bhajis with a twist of tofu, pizzas with healthy protein-rich bases with lot of Italian seasonings, healthy pastas, lentil-based pastas with lot of vegetables, lot of soups to try with. So
It sounds so appetizing even for a normal person. If I was not following a diet, even then, these sound very interesting. So you actually started planning and making all these once you took control of your food?
Yes, I in fact had to only invest my time to make my dinner because that was my preference, that was my choice. And in fact, everybody at home also wanted to eat the kind of dinner I used to eat.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Great. So I think again, very interesting that instead of just having our regular meal, if we put a little bit more thought, there are enough interesting ways to make vegetarian diet also protein, nutrient rich, and at the same time make it very, very interesting.
My daughter loves Chinese, so I prepared a lot of Chinese items with a lot of stir-fried vegetables, tofu, paneer, with minimal sauces, which would make the food really interesting. Varieties of rice with a lot of exotic vegetables, some burrito bowls. It's such a wholesome meal. It has your pulses, it has rajma, it has hung curd, it has avocado, it has a lot of vegetables, it has rice, it has fresh cheese if you want, fresh curd, Greek yogurt. So an entire bowl looks so delightful, so colorful, and yet so nutritious.
So I'm sure kids would have loved these new dishes also, like other than their regular
Kids and parents who have
parents.
not moved out from roti sabzi dal chawal or maximum a chole kulcha or a pav bhaji with 6 pounds and a little bhaji to these wholesome plates, and everybody loved those.
Nice. And so, typical to Indian diet, what about desserts? Like in my house, my parents cannot do without dessert. And sweets is the main weakness in my diet also. Do you have a sweet tooth? And if yes, what did you do?
Yes, I have a sweet tooth and I need my desserts from time to time. So I used to invest time once a week to prepare a variety of desserts, predominantly brownies, fudges, and ice creams.
They sound very sinful when they're adding calories. I mean, it's amazing you could do this during this whole weight loss journey. But can you elaborate on this? Because mostly people think that we'll have to let go of sweets, desserts if we are on a diet.
Yes, we just have to get conscious of what we are eating. I used to make desserts with dates, with honey, with a lot of dry fruits, oats, and they almost tasted like what we eat outside, even better. Even if I'm ordering something from outside, I would make sure to read and understand the calorie content of it. Very important. What I'm exactly eating and how many calories I'm consuming. So little consciousness and reading about them made me realize what to order, what not to order, and what I can actually make.
So tell us about your 2 favorite desserts that you made at home.
Yes, so one was the chocolate ice cream, dark chocolate ice cream, excellent, made of, kid you not, only oats, dry fruits, dates, and makhana. These were the only 4 ingredients, and it looks just like normal ice cream, and cocoa powder, of course. And other than that, I used to make brownies made of only walnuts, honey, milk, and oats.
That's amazing. So this sounds like a lot of effort, Miti, to plan from your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all of these desserts. Like you have a busy schedule. How do people take out so much time every day to plan so much?
I used to give half an hour once a week, only once a week, to plan out my entire week on what to order, what I need to make in the kitchen, what my menu would be like. And then it went like clockwork. Knowing what is there for the next day made me prepare it the previous day. And when it is actually time to make it, it just takes 10 to 15 minutes to make these items.
I mean, that's the important point that we should all take away, that it sounds like a lot, but it's more about being conscious, being aware, and just planning a bit better. So, in addition to your diet, Miti, I'm sure you were physically active as well.
Yes, I continued what I had started a year back. So I used to visit the gym 3 days a week and be consistent at it, work towards progressive overload as much as I could in my time frame. I used to do yoga twice a week, and I would make sure I would go for walks at least 5 days a week for 45 minutes. I made sure that I start my day with at least half a liter of water, and I would hydrate myself for 3 to 4 liters a day every day, which is very, very important for your body recomposition, for you to continue to feel energetic, to not get these hunger pangs.
So, Miti, the summary is that you basically took our Indian carb rich diet, added more protein, added more variety, reduced roti rice, added other things, had three full proper meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, which automatically reduced the need for, mid meal snacking.
Yes,
And I'm assuming you control your sugar intake because you switched to homemade desserts. Did you measure your calorie intake in all of this?
I didn't measure it on a daily basis, but I was conscious of what I was having. And say my requirement is 1800 to 2000 calories, I would keep a 200 250 calorie deficit on a daily basis. So still I could eat up to 1600 calories, which 500 calories of each meal plus another 100 200 calories of snacking 2 times a day. So I would reach 15 to 1700 calories and kept a minimal deficit for the slow and sustainable weight loss.
Nice. I mean, this is so different from many cases where I've seen people talking about really limiting calorie intake. It's amazing to see you getting these results with three full meals every day with your desserts and basically enjoying your food rather than starving your body.
The fad diets, the 800 calorie diets are not going to work for more than 3 months, 4 months. We are going on since 1.5 years now, and maybe, for a lifetime, maybe, if you can
Absolutely.
say.
So this has become like a lifestyle
Yes,
for you now.
absolutely. It should become a lifestyle change, especially for middle-aged women, 35 and above, where your body slows down, where there is sarcopenia, muscle loss. By eating the same food which we used to eat 10 years back, but we tend to put on much more weight now because the food is less protein dense. Little calorie consciousness really helps in shaping up the body the way we envision it.
Any other pieces of advice, Miti, that you followed?
Just like we take care of our house, like, you don't dump your kachra everywhere around. Same way, we should be very mindful and careful of what we are putting into our body. Our body is the place which we are living in. So
Absolutely.
we cannot just put in any sodas, candies, juices, all the marketing gimmicks and things into our body just because it looks attractive.
I mean, this is a very, very critical point and something which I also feel very passionate about. We have to be conscious about our food. We have to be mindful. We have to read labels of products that we are buying. There is so much junk or chemical ingredients like emulsifiers, preservatives, artificial food colors, which are well documented to be harmful, and yet you find them in all kinds of packaged food around you. And the second level of issue is the extremely high level of pesticides and chemicals used in farming, which we don't see, and hence we feel they're not there, but they are a big, big problem linked to all kinds of health disorders, from small ones all the way up to cancer. So absolutely, Miti, very, very valid point. We need to really focus on what we are buying.
Ashish, as a conscious effort, I absolutely just stopped having packaged food. Whatever I wanted used to be either made fresh at home or in restaurants, but nothing that comes in a packet which is labeled from outside.
So, Meeti, with all this transformation, I'm sure things would have changed for your family at your home as well.
Yes, very much. My husband lost 10 kgs in the
Wow.
process. My children also started controlling their junk portions, started getting conscious about what
Very
they are
important.
eating, since they are the formative years, and what they actually see
See
us
us doing.
doing
Absolutely.
is what they are going to follow. They are sponges, they will absorb everything and anything. I had been to Japan once, and I saw that each and every Japanese, their all meals have divided into 4 bowls. They do not eat out of a plate, and there are 6 portions in each bowl that they are eating, and very, very wholesome items.
Japan is actually a fairly disciplined society. Yeah, we can definitely learn a lot
Yes.
from them. So, what about your work, Meeti? Did people see any changes, or did anything change in the way you were counseling your patients?
Yes, very much. A lot of people come to me with obesity related issues. There's a lot of obstructive sleep apnea, there's frozen shoulders, there's diabetes, hypertension, COPD, and most of it is linked to weight, and not just weight, because of unhealthy lifestyles, lack of mobility. So all these patients started getting influenced by me. They started understanding how the weight loss happened. They joined gyms, they started eating better. They asked for counseling on how, I actually went about doing it. And, even a minimal change in 20 patients a day creates a massive impact in the long term.
We just went through an absolutely amazing health transformation journey of Dr. Meeti. And she has her lifestyle as busy as it gets. She is a mother of 2 young kids, a practicing doctor shuttling 2, 3 clinics, and then experiencing multiple health issues due to weight gain during pregnancy. Yet she could come out of all of this and amazingly transform herself, losing 20 kgs of weight in a span of 18 months on a very, very sustainable basis, just by focusing on food. And remember, she's someone who has never cooked before in her life. What it took was just some awareness, some conscious planning, and some self control. And results are here in front of us to see. I mean, it's absolutely motivating, even for someone like me who is working in the food and nutrition space. I'm very, very glad that you took the time to share your experiences with us. Thank you so much.
Very happy to share the insights, and I hope maximum people get to watch this, incorporate something into their day-to-day lifestyle, and make sure to stay fit, to stay healthy. Good nutrition forms an integral part of the cornerstone of everything possible in our day-to-day lives.
So please do help us spread this message. Please do share this video with whoever you think can benefit from this. Specifically, if there is any pregnant lady around you or in your family, this is a great example of the power of food. And we both wish you all the good health. There are a lot of things which are not going well in our modern day food, but if we are conscious and pay attention, it can be a big game changer for our health.